Hey everyone, good morning to you. Thanks for being with us for CBS 8 Plus extended forecast. I'm Evan Irani on a rainy Wednesday. Wet weather expected to stick around through the day today, tomorrow, and taper off on Friday before a dry upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We know Valentine's Day plans are coming up, so we'll walk you through what to expect in the next about 72 hours. That's going to be the critical window, and then we'll talk about the dry skies beyond that. Want to start off with where we are here and now. Radar imagery showing that over the course of the morning hours today, we have seen a lot of wet weather move in. So today is the day for scattered lighter showers on screen. We're going to have more moderate activity expected in the forecast as we get into tomorrow, Thursday, especially by Thursday night into early Friday. So we'll walk you through the next about 48 hours on our future forecast models. But for now, you can see how everything's been pretty light, enough to absolutely wet the roads. Already some pooling and ponding out there. The jacket with the hood, the umbrella, the boots perhaps, all helpful as we head through this morning, and you can keep them around. You don't need to put them back in the closet tonight. You will want to have that around tomorrow and then even into early Friday morning. Let's take a look at the next 12 hours. We've seen some of these models project the possibility that some of these clouds might break apart. We'll get a little bit of sunshine out there. I'm going to say no. We haven't seen much of it at all. There is the chance that we get dry skies for certain periods, certain stretches of the day where the clouds will be dense out there. Overcast skies will remain, but we'll get some pauses in the wet weather. Great opportunity to maybe take a breath in of fresh air outside, but expect that rain to persist yet again. We've got chances kind of ebbing and flowing here between 10 a.m. and noon. We get a little bit of a pause, down to 20% chance for rain, up to 80 and 90% by 2 and 4 p.m. Not the best timing for this, considering that evening commute starts to pick up right around 4 p.m. across San Diego County, and it's going to be coastal and inland valleys that we see the bulk of that taking place. So what we're going to watch for is plenty of disturbances this evening. This morning has been a rough one. We had a SIG alert out there because of a jackknife trailer. We had a stalled vehicle up in Oceanside that was causing some delays. So the traffic delays have already been seen across our county for the morning commute. They're almost guaranteed for the evening commute as well. The suggestion that we make every time, and I know we sound like a broken record when we say it, but it happens every time. So the suggestion is to drive slower. Move over to the slow lanes if you need to. Practice defensive driving. Do not assume that anyone around you is going to be an expert in their lane. Practice that defensive driving. Also, the huge emphasis here is that if you see pooling and ponding on surface streets, turn around, don't drown. You do not know how deep any of the pools of water are, and you do not want to be left in a flood situation or a flash flood situation. Right now, a flood watch is expected to take effect as we head into tomorrow morning. It will be in effect all the way through the day, and National Weather Service could choose to issue that a little earlier, maybe tonight. Also could choose to push it through Friday. But that will be in effect across our coastal communities, inland valleys, and mountains for the day on Thursday. Temperatures are on the cooler side of average today. That's unsurprising. Center of low pressure moving in our direction. 59 degrees is about where we're expected to rest in Oceanside this afternoon. 53 for Poway and Escondido. 57 for El Cajon. 57 for downtown San Diego, and 55 for La Mesa. So jackets are going to be helpful not only because of the rain, but also because of the cooler temperatures. You see what a dramatic change this is in our rain chances. We are on the heels of very dry conditions over the last about 10 months. Now, our water year has not been generous to us. That water year began on October 1st. We typically, from October 1st through today, would have had between 5 and 7 inches already on the ground of rain. Instead, we've seen a couple tenths of an inch. Up in Oceanside, those accumulations have been particularly light. So we needed this storm to make a little bit of a dent in our numbers. Our drought conditions are extreme across our county. So this 3-day stretch is going to do a good amount to us. It should help to bring our numbers closer to normal. But again, we don't have 7 inches in the forecast. We only have about 1 to 3 inches, depending on where you're located. We'll look at that in a second. But it will at least give us some totals to work with. We need it nonetheless, especially on the heels of devastating fires across Southern California. Today is where we see the lighter stuff. It's coming in basically 2 different pulses. First pulse is going to come with lighter stuff today. Tomorrow's more moderate stuff is expected through the early morning stretch, and then again by the late night hours. And then for Friday, everything starts to taper off before we head into a dry upcoming weekend. Let's time out the next 48 hours for you. I want to push this through about 11:30. This is that pause we were talking about when we were looking at the next 12 hours or so. It might get a little bit of a break in there. Again, it's doubtful that we'll see many of those clouds break apart necessarily, but we will at least get those opportunities for you to step outside and breathe in the fresh air. Now, we have also talked about how that evening commute could be impacted. Watch as this next wave comes on shore. Yellow showing those moderate showers building over the ocean, pushing onshore. This will likely cause a mess for that evening commute. So if you're planning to drive this afternoon, this evening, whether it be taking the kids home from school at 4 p.m. or if you have work up until 6, 7 p.m. and you're driving home, this is going to be likely some slowing speeds, possibly stop and go traffic, depending on how many crashes and stalled vehicles we see. That's why CHP is going to be on high alert for the rest of the week here. This is through 5:30. Let's push through overnight. We get a little bit of a break there. Early morning hours, overnight while most people are asleep, we'll have some more showers on shore. And then we've got some yellow building up around the North County area, moving into Orange County by about 9 a.m. tomorrow. So that means we will repeat what we have in store today again tomorrow with those off and on showers for the morning stretch. A little bit of yellow right there just north of Oceanside. Things are going to intensify as we get toward the nighttime hours, but most of the day is just going to have those pockets of wet weather. And then if you're going to be out and about by about 9, 10 p.m. on Thursday, you are going to be in for the heaviest showers that we will see in this 3-day span. The good side is that most people are not going to be outside at, say, 1 a.m. Thursday night and early Friday. So we do have the expectation that a lot of people will be in their beds asleep as we are going to be in a weeknight going into our Friday. It would be a lot different of a situation if this were Friday night going into Saturday, as we know a lot of people are out and about for their Friday night plans. But if you are making Thursday night plans, you want to listen up here. Areas of yellow on the screen, areas of orange and red, indicating moderate to heavy rain that's going to be coming down. You see that quick wave that comes for about 9 p.m. around North County. A lot of these heavier cells are favoring North County. We're going to see it push south, and all that activity continues through about 2 and 3 a.m. So between about 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. Thursday night into Friday, we are going to be seeing a lot of pooling and ponding on the roads, which means you'll wake up Friday morning to likely some difficult driving conditions as well. Friday is going to include scattered lighter showers, nothing too impactful, but you can see how even by 8 a.m. Ramona, Pine Valley is still picking up on some of that rain as we head through the day on Friday, which is why if you're making Valentine's Day plans, that's Friday. If they're outside, you may want to adjust. Inside plans should be accounted for Friday, or push any outdoor plans to Saturday. Saturday, we're going to start to incorporate much more dry conditions. All right, let's push this first model through, first pulse of energy for the rest of the day on Wednesday. We've got about ½ an inch coming down in Carlsbad and San Diego, 3/4 of an inch in Oceanside, Escondido, Ramona, Poway, a third of an inch. The thing here is that it gives us a great opportunity to watch for these lighter showers and to prepare. We want to make sure that our storm drains are clear. You should be doing that in front of your house. If today is trash day, do not leave your trash bins up against the storm drain. Move them away so that any of that storm water can flow freely. I want to push this all the way through the rest of the day on Thursday. You see how those numbers jump all the way up to over 2.5 inches at Palomar Mountain, 2.3 inches in Fallbrook, an inch or so everywhere else. In some cases closer to 2 inches in Oceanside and Escondido. When all is said and done, this is all the way through early Saturday, so everything should be accounted for. We should be done with all of that wet weather. We're looking at upwards of 3 inches up at Palomar Mountain, 2.5 inches in Fallbrook, 2.1 inches in Oceanside. Lightest accumulations are going to be down toward the South Bay, Chula Vista, Imperial Beach, National City, all picking up on just over an inch. Still a good amount, still more than National City, Imperial Beach, San Ysidro has seen in the last 10 months combined. So it doesn't really matter where you are. You're still expecting the strongest storm of the season so far, just because of how mild this season has been on us. Good amount of rain on the way over the next 72 hours. Be prepared. Days highlighted in red are weather impact alert days. It's because you may need to adjust plans. Otherwise, head out with the umbrella, the jacket with the hood, the boots, perhaps. Now, we've talked about needing to adjust Valentine's Day plans. Temperatures are cooler, it's cloudier, showers still possible. To drier skies by Saturday, partly cloudy, 65 degrees, jumping up to 67 by Sunday. So we'll get a nice little boost in temperatures as we get into the upcoming weekend. But the next 3 days are going to be critical to see what those numbers end up looking like. Across our inland valleys, we get a 15 degree, in some cases more, climb in temperatures. 53 this afternoon on the cooler side, climbing all the way to 70 by the time we get to Sunday under partly cloudy skies. So the plus side is this is all taking place during the work week. It's not going to be affecting as many of our weekend plans. Question on hand is whether or not we'll see any snow up across our local mountains. The answer is not likely. We do not have any snow in our local forecast for our San Diego County mountains. That's different for other parts of San Diego, for other parts of Southern California. San Bernardino, Riverside, LA County all see their highest elevations higher than ours. And that means that they could see some snow. But for us, you see what those afternoon highs and overnight lows look like, just not cold enough to sustain any snow out there. Lighter accumulations are also expected across our deserts. They're going to work with more wind than rain. They've already seen that wind pick up. Yesterday was a very windy day countywide as those clouds convened. And we're going to watch as that wind persists today through Friday, especially off toward our local mountains and deserts. Into the weekend for those two microclimates, we also get a nice little boost in temperatures back to the 60s across the mountains, back to the upper 70s for our deserts. And dry skies will proceed all the way into the beginning of next week. This is a constantly changing situation. We know that it's been largely in-depth over the last 10 minutes or so, but you can keep up to date with the latest on our website. That's a great way to find all of our resources on hand. You can go through each of these graphics individually at your pace with a text commentary as well. It's cbs8.com/weather. We also know that things can change minute by minute, possibility of flash flooding, possibility of new watches, warnings, and advisories being issued. The best way to stay up to date on that is to download the CBS 8 app, especially on your Roku TV, Fire TV, and Apple TV. All of those are free, and you can watch any of our shows on demand. If we choose to come in with breaking news coverage, you can watch that on demand on our streaming platform as well for free. It's all great resources to have as we start to move toward what is finally a more notable wet stretch of weather for San Diego County following months and months of dry weather, the driest water year on record so far. We appreciate you joining us here for our extended forecast. Again, you can find much more on our website. Stay safe out there. I'm Evan Arani with your CBS 8 Plus extended forecast. Have a great Wednesday.